Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. Welcome back if you are rejoining. Welcome if this is your first time. My name is Marissa Price. I am a Black woman social worker and business coach helping Black women start and grow freelance businesses to leave toxic jobs and live their dreams as well. And I'm now offering coaching services if you'd like to work with me. tinyurl.com/work with Marissa. But I have a lovely guest with me today, Dee of Brown Girls Invest Too. We will be talking about overcoming the fear of investing, which a lot of us have. So I will pass it to Dee to introduce herself and her channel.
All right, thank you. Marissa, thank you very much for having me. I appreciate this. I am Dee Watkins. I am a former engineer. I'm an early retiree. Um, I am a resident of San Miguel de Allende. I moved to Mexico almost 2 years ago. And I am an investor in real estate as well as a long term investor in the stock market. I run a YouTube channel under the title of Brown Girls Invest Too. And that channel is geared toward teaching people to, oh, thanks for that, teaching people to save more, spend less, and grow their money through investing in the stock market. Uh, Again, thank you for having me. That's what I got. I think there's a
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you for being here. So for the first question, right, for those who may not know, what is investing and how is it different than trading? Because we see those terms kind of interchanged a lot and they're
yeah.
different things, right? So anything you could share around what is investing and how is it different than trading?
Okay, so I'm going to give you the basic definition between, or I'm sorry, the differences between the two. But before I do that, I want to make sure I understand what we mean about trading. I told you what I do, but I didn't mention, I also do one other thing. I also trade stock options, right? So in this instance, I am not speaking of that at all. So if we're talking about investing is typically going to be a long-term thing, right? So it's where you're taking your money, taking your capital, you're buying an appreciable asset, right? You're taking your money to buy an asset with the with the hope or the intention of that thing going up in value. Okay. And so that is typically done on a long-term basis, and it's usually attached to a goal. So, say you have a goal of you're investing for your retirement, or you're investing for your child's college fund, or say you're investing for the purchase of a home or something like that, a large ticket item or a something that's going to cost quite a lot of money, right? So that's investing. If we're talking about trading, trading is similar, right? So it's similar in that you're taking your capital, your cash, and you are purchasing a thing. And I'm saying a thing because we're speaking of the stock market. So let's just say we're talking about stocks. Okay. So you're purchasing that with the hopes of it increasing in value. Now, the difference between what I said earlier, I said if you're investing with the hope of that thing increasing in value. Okay. If you're trading, you can actually make money going both directions, right? But all you want is for whatever you purchase to be worth more once you decide to sell it, and that is typically done on a shorter time frame. So you can trade something in a couple of minutes, a couple hours, a day, a week, a month, or usually it doesn't go beyond about 6 months or a couple quarters. So that's the difference. I hope that made sense. Hey,
It
Michelle.
did,
Hey.
yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, hey, everyone's just
Comments over
joining.
here.
Yes,
I'm sorry.
yes.
I want to make
So
sure
for
I can
those,
see some of the comments.
yeah. So for those who are completely new to this, right? So investing is long term, right? A long term growth strategy. You kind of really don't touch your money, right? So for it to
Exactly.
grow, if you want it to, yeah, perform similar to something like the S&P 500
Hmm.
index, that's kind of investing. And trading is kind of like you said, short term gain,
Exactly.
short term strategy. Yeah,
Yes, for sure.
wonderful, wonderful. So yeah, just to touch on your personal journey with investing, anything you like to share around that? How did you get started investing, and what motivated you to take that first step into investing?
What motivated me? All right. So my, I actually got tricked. The motivation was someone tricked me into doing it. Right. I don't come from a background of people that invest, right, or had any money to do it either, or at least they didn't think they had the money. So um, I started working. I worked a straight job. I worked for AT&T for 30 years. Okay, so I started my career and finished my career with one company. I never did all this jumping around or anything like that. I started when I was 19 years old, and I started as a 411 operator. And at the time, I was making $222 a week. So I remember the union steward, a woman named Betty. She comes over, she takes an index card, puts it down on my desk while I'm working, by the way, and says, she said, sign it. Like, what is it? She said, sign it. What is it? Sign it. I sign it, give it to her. She grabs and says, you're in the 401k. That is how I started investing, through my company sponsored plan. Now, at the time, I was, I didn't want to lose. I already wasn't making a lot of money, and I was helping my mother. So I didn't think I had the money to be coming out of my check, right? I didn't want to be missing any of the money that I had earned. Well, it turns out that was one of the best things that ever happened to me, right? So now in that position, there's something called time and title. So before you can leave that position, you've got to do a particular amount of time. I'm telling you the time frame so that you understand how quickly this can happen. The time and title for that job was 6 months. So, she made me sign the thing. A couple weeks later, I get a paycheck and I see they took money out of my check. Oh, all right, whatever. So we go on a couple more weeks. I get another check. They took some more money out. So now I'm going to get a statement in a month. And that statement shows me how much money that's already been taken out that's now in my 401k. Now, my company actually had a pretty decent company match. It was an 80% match. So, I mean, again, I'm young. I don't really understand that as soon as I lay a dollar down, that my company just laid down 80 cents. So I already had an 80% gain. Okay. So not only am I seeing the money coming out, I go, okay, all right. I'm putting money aside. Great. Now I'm okay about it, right? But the other thing is I see not only did I put money aside, my company said, yeah, girl, and gave me some more money. Okay, I like that too. Um, so I get another statement and I look and I go, well, that doesn't really add up. And so I started, well, okay, this is how much I put in, this is how much they put in, but it's more than that. And I don't understand why until I started doing some research and say, oh, this is what happens when you put money into things that grow in value, right? So now the money that I've put in is starting to grow, and I'm really interested now. I come from a background where we didn't have a lot of money, okay? And so where I was upset at first when the money first started coming out. After I see what can happen if you put your money into certain things, I'm all for it now. So that started for me. And as I started to learn and figure out why this thing was growing for me, I just started reading everything I could or anything I could consume. So at the time, I think I was, reading things like Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad Poor Dad, or oh yes, at the time, Oprah Winfrey had Susie Orman and David Bach as guests on her show, and you know, I'm consuming all of their information and reading everything I can. The Automatic Millionaire, uh, the Millionaire Next Door, things like that. And so now I'm full on into this. I'm ready for this. Okay, so that's really how it started for me. But not only was I investing in my 401k, I said, wait a minute, I figured out I could do this outside of it. And so now I'm dibbling and dabbling in mutual funds. And as I did that, I just continued to learn and was just very excited about the idea of growing my money while I'm, you know, complaining about them taking money out of my check. So that's really how it started for me.
Thank you so much for sharing that. Yeah. And if you could just share more about like the employer match, Because I feel like that's something that a lot of us don't even know, right, is a benefit to us. If we haven't
Right.
looked in our employee handbook, if we're not really sure of the benefits that are provided to us, a lot of companies will provide you with that match to contribute to your 401k. So it's essentially like free money in that
Right.
sense. So if you could share anything around that.
So I'm actually glad you brought that up. I was going to bring it up as well. Um, it seems like it's a no-brainer, but there are quite a lot of people that one don't even invest in their they don't even invest in their 401k. They don't participate. They don't contribute, right? Um, Now, I don't know if that's because of lack of education or whatever it is, or maybe it's a case of them not wanting any money to come out of their check, not knowing that it's going to benefit them. Uh, First things first, please invest in your company sponsored plan. Now, I know some people are not going to have it, but if you do, please do. So, there are companies that will match you. Some won't match, right? But most will. Some companies will match you at 50%. Some will match you at, like my company did, 80%. And some companies will match you one for one. 100% of what you put in, they will match you. That is already a gain off the rip. As soon as you put your money in, your company just gave you an increase in, I'm sorry, just gave you profit. Okay. So please consider doing that. If you're not already doing it, please do it. It is part of your compensation plan. And if you're not doing it, you're actually leaving some of your salary on the table, as far as I'm concerned. Is that what you were looking for?
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. Yeah. And even like with the 401k, right, you can actually reduce your taxable income if you
Absolutely.
do increase your contributions to your 401k. So there's that benefit as well.
Right. And that is
So yeah, just a
because,
question around. Mhm.
I'm sorry. I was just going to say that is because that's the purpose. You're putting money in pre-tax, right? So it's lowering your taxable income, and that's a benefit to you later on once you take it out.
Absolutely. So just a question on like, how did you get around that fear, right, that you described of having? Because I had that same fear as well, being a first generation college graduate, college student, right? No one really talked about investing, and if they did, there was a lot of fear surrounding it. So I didn't like take advantage of that employer match early on. And it was years later that I'm like, oh, this is actually a benefit to me. So how did you like kind of change that thinking and realize it's still benefiting you even if it's coming out of your check, right? It's benefiting you in the long term.
So there's a, I forget the study. There's a study where people will feel a bigger impact of losing money uh, versus the impact of them making money, right? And so for me, again, I was not forced, but I really was kind of, I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know I was about to start investing. That's the first thing. So it was never even on my radar to do it or to have a fear of it because no one around me was doing it. Um, what did it for me is the education, right? Again, I'm complaining that they're taking money out until I figure out what it can do. And then I figure out why it's happening. So that is a better option to me, or at that time, it was a better option to me when I know what my financial situation was and where we came from. Okay, and so the the prospect of me making more money without me having to do much else besides earn the money to put some to the side, that's what did it for me. It wasn't about I didn't think I was going to lose money, and even if I thought so, I didn't have much to lose. People that don't have much money actually are, for me, are in a better position because they have less to lose.
Thank you for sharing that. And I see Michelle has a question here. Can you touch on self-employed 401ks? I missed out on my 401k because I withdrew too early in my 20s because I was in New York City making 18,000. Oh my gosh, circa 1990s. Yeah, that early withdrawal penalty for 401ks is real. So anything you want to share around self-employed 401ks?
Okay, so I actually didn't know we were doing questions like this. And so I can,
And we don't have to. There's yeah,
yeah, I mean,
because I know
certain
that you
questions
have an
are,
option to work with you one on one, right? Yeah.
right, exactly. But the other thing is, you kind of need to know someone's situation before I speak on certain in your 20s because I was in New York. Certainly. I'm sorry. I don't know that I can speak too much to that question. My apologies. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, no worries, no worries. Yeah. And I will link Dee's link in the chat if you do want to schedule like one-on-one time with her to discuss your individual situation as well. But yeah, moving on to the next question. Let's see. Just common fears, right, or misconceptions that you have heard other Black women express. Again, that you work with one-on-one as clients. What are some of those fears that people have around investing?
Hmm. So probably the number one thing again is losing money. Um, the pain of losing money is greater to them than the joy of making money. That's one. Two is we historically have not done well. I'm sorry, I don't want to put the onus on us. I will say we have not been treated well in some financial markets, whether it was banking or investing or in any kind of financial dealings. Historically, people took money from us, right? Or we worked harder for things and weren't paid what we were supposed to be paid. So all of those things kind of go back to I don't want to put my money into this. I want to be able to control it. I don't want anyone to take something from me. That's two. The third would be people think they don't have enough money to do it, or they think it's for. I have to watch my mouth. They think it's for rich people, okay, and it is not. It is for everyone, okay. And by the way, this is how you become rich. I would say that a fourth thing would be um, they don't have the education, right? So they don't understand it. And so that always kind of floors me a little bit because a lot of the women I'm talking to are very accomplished women, right? They are doctors, they are attorneys, they are project managers, right? You know, people coming to them that they've got direct reports and all this type of thing. So they're running major things and they may be business owners themselves, right? But for some reason, they think that they won't be able to handle money, right? Money is taboo. Not too many people talk about actual money or how much they make or these kind of things. You just don't talk about these things now, or at least they don't. Now, maybe they're not talking about them because crab in a barrel, where if you talk about how well you're doing, then someone wants to pull you down, or they feel like they'll get someone else will target them to take their money away from them. So those kinds of things are what I run into most. But the bigger thing is they just don't know. We haven't had these kind of conversations. We haven't been taught, you know, different things about how you grow your money or the vehicles that you can do it within. And so I think it's just a lack of education. That's it. Um, Once they get that education, it's very easy for them to do, right? Women are actually better investors than men. And this isn't a fact. I'm sorry, women in being better investors than men is a fact. I'm going to go further and say I probably think that Black women would be much better investors because we're more resourceful and can take a couple dollars and stretch that like you wouldn't even believe. And we're more sensible about figuring out how to do things. But again, that part is not necessarily a fact. It's true for me, though.
Thank you. Yeah. And in your work, how do you address those fears, right? So we know that you offer coaching, right?
I
Booking a
forgot
call
to
with you
mention
to
that.
have
Yeah.
those to have those individual questions answered. Any other things that you do as far as educating Black women about investing and the benefits that it can provide?
Yeah. So the first thing I do is let me see. Do I start with? Um, I'm going to start with work, right? I'm going to start with an employee sponsored plan. A lot of what people don't even know how to get into their plan, right? They don't know their password. They haven't looked at it in years or months or whatever. And if they get into it, they don't know what they're looking at once they're in it. Okay. So I will step by step go through someone's package with them, not their package, I'm sorry, their 401k with them or 403b or whatever they have, and kind of show them the things that they're looking at and the things they should be looking for. All right. Um, I will give a practical example. I think a lot of folks think that they don't know how to invest. You're actually already investing right now, and you're investing by the things that you have in your house. Okay. Um, in that instance, you're an investor, but you're an investor on the consumer side. Okay. You are supplying that company with the money to grow, right? So I like to show people how they are actually investing. So um, you and I, uh, you're in Mexico. So actually, I could do yours. I'm going to do it from everyone taking the perspective of us being in the U.S. And the reason I'm using the U.S. is because, I can better talk about the companies from the U.S. So if you look, when I say you, I'm talking about everybody watching this. If you go through your house, you are investing in a company called Procter and Gamble. Okay. And the way I know you are is because there are not many companies that supply the products they supply. They are a consumer staples company, right? So if you've got any body washes or Tide and oh God, you've got products throughout your house. It's got Procter and Gamble name all over it. You decided you trusted that company enough to buy that product. You've been using it for years. Maybe your parents used it and their parents used it. And the reason I know is because that company started in the 1800s. Okay. And so if you trust that company enough to continue to use their products, then you should trust that company enough to own the company, right? You are consistently every 2 weeks or every month or whatever, you got to go buy some Dawn. That's Procter and Gamble. Okay. If you are If you got a baby, not even a baby, anybody, Johnson and Johnson is a company from the 1800s, right? And so again, you've got their products all throughout your house. You're investing as a consumer. Uh, Again, you trust that company. You know what they do for the most part, right? You know how long or it's an old company. You may not know that it's from 1886 for PG, I think, and 1888, I believe, for Johnson and Johnson. You might not know it goes back that far, but you know it's been here as long as you've been here. Okay, and so if you know of companies like that and they haven't faltered in the time that you've known about it, then there's a good chance it's not going to falter when you put your money in. I give them the practical example of companies like that, and then show them that those companies, as soon as you put your money in, they're not going to crumble. And I know they're not going to crumble because they've been through recessions, depressions, pandemics, uh, World Trade Center attacks. Oh, here for Johnson and Johnson, if I'm not picking on any millennials, but I am going to say this: there's a good chance if you guys have opened up any medicine or anything, most things, there's usually a plastic seal on it, right? That is a tamper-resistant seal. And the reason we have a tamper-resistant seal is because in the 80s, I think it was 1982, there was a Tylenol. It wasn't a scare. There were 7 people that died. They didn't just die; they were murdered, right? And the way they were murdered is someone went on the shelves, opened up the Tylenol because there was no seal on it at that time, and they laced the Tylenol with cyanide. So 7 people died behind that, and that company, I think they spent $100 million just in recalling product. And then after that, they had to regain the trust of the public and spend a ton of money to replace the products that they just recalled, right, with good products that hadn't been tampered with. And then they had to do an ad campaign to get people to come back to using their products. So that company survived that, right? It survived a pandemic. If it survived all those things over 160 something years, it's probably there's a good chance that it's going to continue to be able to survive whatever else comes up. Now, just in me saying that, now again, I'm talking about Johnson and Johnson. Right now, they've got a $700 million lawsuit against them. They've survived lawsuits and all these other things. They're going to survive you being able to put your money in there. So once I show people that you're already supporting the companies that you trust. So if they've been going for this long and other people around you have been putting their money in there, and as they're putting their money in there, that thing has been appreciating, then you should probably take advantage of that as well. Tide, Crest, Charm, and Downy. Thank you.
Mhm. That was a really, yeah, that was a really helpful reframe, right? You're already investing as a consumer.
Yes,
Yeah, because a lot of us will feel like we can't take that step. It's like you already are. So
right.
that
And
fear is just eliminated right there. Mhm.
I want to say something else. We tend to, some people tend to put their money into things that don't appreciate. Um, I'm not picking on anyone, but if you see yourself in this, consider doing something different. People will put money on their backs. You know, you'll put money and get. I got my hair done. I'm gonna put money in my hair. I'm just playing. Uh, get your hair done. You're getting your nails done, right? All of those things make you look good. They make you feel good for that part of that little portion of time, right? But ultimately, those dollars that you just put into that could have been put somewhere else that are gaining in value for you. And the money, if you put it somewhere else in an appreciable asset, those dollars can take care of you at some point. My hair being done is going to last me 2 weeks, 2 months, right? But the money that I just put into my hair is not going to take care of me 2 years from now because I put it in something that doesn't appreciate in value. Now, I understand that's a service, but these are things. And if you're putting money into these things, they're not going to bring you any, they're not going to make any gains for you. Now, if I'm wearing Gucci, I'm wearing Louis Vuitton. Okay, own that company then. That's all I'm saying.
Hmm. Thank you for that. I do want to get to a question from Zolani, Black Flourishing and Free. Do you think shame and generational fears of systems and the man plays a part in Black people shying away from investing?
Shame and generational fears, absolutely. Systematically, we would put our money into banks and that money would disappear. So yes, that plays a part. And I'm not sure about the shame part because I think that you can be ashamed that your family didn't have money, but I don't know how that would affect me. I don't know how that would uh, prevent me from trying to make money. So I don't know that shame would be something to make me be fearful about investing. It would make me want to invest so that I don't have what I had in the past. I actually, I got a fear. It makes me invest, right? And that fear is of me not having any money, right? I don't ever want to feel the way I felt uh, when I was a child. I want to walk that back just a little bit. I be clear. I am not knocking how I was raised or the tools and resources that we had. We had what we had, and I understand that. I'm not blaming anyone for that. I just don't want to feel the same ways I felt when we didn't have. That's all.
Thank you for that. I do want to ask for someone who is new to investing again, what practical steps can someone take maybe today if they've never invested before to start that process of investing?
Educate yourself. Um, so I think no. First, you got to figure out what's the fear. Where's it coming from? Is the fear coming from an experience that you had, or is it coming from an experience that you witnessed someone else had, or at least they told you they had? If it is coming from, um, if it's coming from your own fear, something I experienced, I lost money, um, that set my family back. Whatever, all these different things. If it's your own fear, then you do a deep dive on it and you really have to do some forensics on why you lost money. So if that, when that happens, because it does happen when I talk to people about this. Now, let's talk about why you lost the money. So, did you lose the money because you didn't understand what you were putting your money in, right? So, I am a big supporter, no, follower of Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett says, invest in things you understand. Okay. And so I have friends that'll come to me and say, ID, look, it's this thing. Stop. Stop talking to me like that. Right. I don't want nobody coming and say, look. Mm-mm. That's not how you present to me what I should put my money in. So I have people to call me and say, I heard this guy. He's in the barbershop, right? And he told me about this company. Who's the guy? He was in the other chair. Okay, what did he say? All right, it's this company. Now, what's the name? I don't remember the name, but they're about to blow up. You don't know the name. You don't know the guy. You don't know anything about the business. Do not come to me about me putting my money into something like that, and you shouldn't, right? And typically, when people do that, they haven't even invested in that thing yet. And if they're trying to get you to do that, there's a chance that they'll benefit from you putting your money in, right? So what's the thing? Tell me what you put your money into. Well, there was a company. They had 6 employees, and they were going up against Apple. Okay, very cute. Know the company, know what they do, know the environment they're in, right? What environment were you investing in at the time? If you didn't understand the company, you didn't understand what they did, right? You didn't know who their suppliers were, you didn't know who they were supplying, right? All of those things are environment, right? And what state of mind were you in when you invested, right? So that plays a part. Your emotions play a part in how you invest. And if you can't control your emotions, there's a good chance you're going to lose. Because if you're making money, all right, yeah, we're making money, right? But as soon as that thing starts to go down, and it will go down, I'm not saying it'll crash, but the way investments work is, I always have trouble with this. I am using my right hand, and I am starting on the left. Okay, a the way, oh God, how do you show this? The way stock moves is it moves from left to right, and it goes up, it pulls back, it goes up, it pulls back, up, pulls back. But generally, it's going up, but it's going from the left to the right up. Okay. So there's going to be times when it goes up, you're going to be excited. And then it's going to pull back. Oh my God, I'm losing money. So if you are one of these people that kind of fluctuate like this with the market, you say, sell it. Oh God, sell it. Lord Jesus, sell it. Well, you might sell it at a time that you're underwater in it and you'll lose money. So once I understand what happened with you, how you lost the money, then I understand what you can do differently so that that doesn't happen again. If it is you watch someone else do it or they told you about it, we got to do the same thing. Why did they lose money? What did they invest in? What was the environment at the time? And did they tell you the truth about it? Okay. Or did they even understand all of the things that I mentioned before? So once you figure that out, where the fear is coming, I got the tools to figure out what to do differently. That's number one. Number two, time to educate ourselves, right? So we're going to look at if it's an individual company. If it's an individual company, we want to look at who their competitors are. Mm, it's a new company. It's called Grapes, and they got this phone. If you hit this button, it's a green. It's a green grape. If you hit this one, it's a red grape. If you hit that one, it's a purple grape. And they got a ringtone that sings "Heard It Through the Grapevine." They gonna take Apple out. No, they're not. All right. You have to look at who the competitors are in that market. Typically, you should buy best of breed if you can, right? You learn that term. I'm going to give you guys terms. I'm not going to tell you everything. I'm going to point you in the right direction. All right. So let's talk about the thing you want to invest in. We're going to learn what we need to learn about that company. We need to know what they do. We need to know their name. We need to know what they do, who they supply, who their suppliers are, and whatever they're supplying, is this the season for it, right? And what is the prospect of them moving up? Do they have any cash on hand, right? Are they broke? Are they trying to bring in money? Are they a reputable company? Have they been in business for a certain amount of time? I told you, Johnson and Johnson, Procter and Gamble. Oh God, old company. Pepsi, PepsiCo, Coca-Cola, companies like that. They've been in business a very long time. So we can learn what we need to learn about those companies. If it is a company, people say, it's cheap. It only costs $2. Okay, that's a problem. The reason that's a problem is because that is a penny stock. Anything that's less than $5 is a penny stock. All right. And so you'll have people pumping these stocks. Oh, you should buy it. It's only I get 200 of them. It costs 50 cents. We ain't doing that, right? You're not doing that because it's not a reputable company. They don't have any history, right? That's you figure those things out before you start to dump your money into it. All right. So we figured out how to do an individual company. We want to also put our money into something that our company is helping to fund your account with, right? So you've got options within your 401k, within your employer sponsored plan. Let me say that. And that's a way to begin, because if they match, you've already got a gain before you start. Your company probably has vetted. I'm hesitating a little bit because 401ks are regulated more than 403bs are, right? And 457s and TSPs are regulated far better than anything. All right. So you have options within your employer sponsored plan. So we can start there, right? We're going to figure out what that company does, right? We're going to figure out all the things we need to know if it's okay to put our money in it, and we're going to use a tool that's already available to us in our employer sponsored plan. Okay, I think I forgot the question. No, I did. So that's three things we can do. So next, we're going to educate ourselves in how, not necessarily how money works, but how the market moves, right? And be clear that this is a long term investing, again, long term, right? So we're not going to put some money in today and look tomorrow. Am I a millionaire? Nope. You didn't give it enough time, right? You have to understand that you're putting that money in there for a purpose, and that purpose needs to be determined by you. Is it for your retirement? Is it for a home that you guys will purchase in 5 years or whatever, 2, 3, 5 years? Okay. Is it for your child's education? Some people come to me and say, how can I make a lot of money quick? You could be a drug dealer, and I don't do that. All right. Otherwise, you are putting your money aside. You know, you need to change your mind about what that money is for, right? You need to decide that that money is for my down payment on my home, okay? And once you decide that, you need to be consistent, give it time, and be level headed about it, okay? So those are some of the things that I, you know, use as tools to help people along.
Thank
I
you for
think we have
that.
a
And I
question.
see DG has a question on. Oh, do we? Sorry, y'all. The Wi-Fi's in and out here, but best brokerage app in your opinion?
I'm not going to say best. Maybe I will. Kidding. I'm not going to say best. I'm going to say better. I'm going to give you a group of best as far as I'm concerned. So the group of best is going to be the big three. Fidelity, that's where I have all of my, that's a lie, where I have most of my holdings. Okay. Um, so Fidelity, Schwab, Vanguard. Let me do it over. Fidelity, Vanguard, Schwab. The reason I did it over is because Vanguard actually started some funds that are used very heavily with people, and so I think those are the better ones because they have the support available for you, and they have things for you to educate yourself within their platform. You know, a lot of those companies. I'm speaking Fidelity, mostly of Fidelity right now. The other ones have it, but I work with Fidelity mostly. They've got webinars and information for you to go and learn. Uh, Click the button, sit there 10 minutes, learn something you didn't know, right? Or they will do live webinars with people, right? So, I mean, as long as a company has support for you and educational resources, those are the ones that I favor. Some of the others that I like quite a lot are going to be like E-Trade. That doesn't exist. E-Trade exists. I'm trying to think. No, they Schwab took them. So like E-Trade or Webull, eh, go with the big three. E-Trade next.
Thank you. And I see a question from Zalani. Outside of employer benefits, how do you actually make an investment in a company? How do I buy Pepsi, Co, or Apple shares? Do I need to go through a company? So just the logistics of that.
You can do both actually. Um, I'm sorry, I didn't give you the first one, but anyway, Um, first thing is outside. Okay, so if you don't have an employer sponsored plan, you can have a cash account, brokerage account. Okay, you can open up a brokerage account with any brokerage, and there's some that I would steer clear of. I'm not going to say what they are, but if they don't have the educational resources or if they are make it like a game to you, those are not the brokerages you need to be with. Now, so yes, you can get a cash brokerage account. Open up your account. You could open up you a if you have earned income, you can open up a Roth IRA. You can get a traditional IRA that is an individual retirement account. I said retirement account. That means that's the goal of that account. That's the purpose for having that account. And I'm stating that again because this is not a grab it, grab it, grab it. Don't do that. You will shoot yourself in the foot. And yes, you can buy directly from a company. Yes, you can buy directly from a company. I hope this is still true. DRIP, direct reinvestment, direct reinvestment plan. Am I still here?
You are. There was a slight delay, but you're back.
We both started spinning. So was that me? I hope not. Anyway, I hope you guys got my answer. The last thing was DRIP program, direct reinvestment plans. Am I here?
Yes. I did hear
Okay.
you say that. Yep.
All right, cool.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah. Um,
one more
Thriving
thing.
on enough
There
says
are,
D definitely knows how to help you. Uh-huh.
thank you, Stephanie. Thriving on enough. Yes. Thank you, Stephanie. I appreciate you. She got two channels. She killing it. Sustainable stuff as well as her other channel. Thinker, I saw Alam, finding Alam. She put Thinkorswim.
Uh-huh.
Thinkorswim was kind of engulfed
Yeah.
into Charles Schwab. I actually log into Thinkorswim, so yes, to Thinkorswim, but they still exist and they're owned by Schwab now. So I don't know if they're standalone anymore.
And also says Schwab checking is great for international living. Yeah, that's important if you are going to move out of the US to have a fee-free way to do checking, right? And Schwab is one of the companies that offers that as well as Capital One, which is what I have. Yes, thank you for sharing that.
Can you pull up
I do
Motown
want to
Investment?
ask, what? Yeah, yeah, of course.
Hey, Motown. I got family. I got family there. Anyway, um, I just wanted to highlight that because she invests in dividend
Mhm.
stocks. I love dividends. Love them. And the fact that you said 5 years ago. Thank you. So she took $50,000 and did put that away 5 years ago, and it is now producing $800 a month for her. That ain't got nothing to do with the $50,000. Whatever that is in it, there's a good chance that it has grown in value. But not only that, it's also pushing out $800 a month. Of It can be income to her if she wants to use it. I shouldn't say her. I'm sorry. It could be income to Motown Investor if 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 she wanted to. All right. Or sorry, I'm a Neanderthal. Um, or she what she's doing is reinvesting it. So what she's got going on is a big old snowball. Okay. She started with a certain amount. That certain amount is growing, 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 growing. With that $800, she's telling them, buy me some more shares, buy me some more shares. And that's steadily going up. Okay. At some point, she's going to say, all right, send me some money. When she retires, or if she's retired, or when she retires, or whatever, she could say, maybe that in another, and that's in 5 years, by the way. So maybe in another 10 years, that's $2,400. You can live off of $2,400 a month. So your investments, your hair, your nails, right? All of them clothes you could have bought, she put it into something that was appreciating in value and that's going to take care of her later. That's what I'm talking about. All right, for the dividends.
Yeah,
And
can you talk a little bit about the power of? Oh, yep, please. Hmm.
no, no, it's fine. I'm just saying that I said that $800 can at some point be $2,400, $5,000. There are people, I am in groups where they make $80,000 a month, $100,000 a month in dividends. Now, that took some time to do, but it's possible. And it's possible for you. Okay, I'm sorry. What's your question?
Oh, no, no, you're fine. You're fine. I was just going to ask you about the power of compound interest, if you want to touch on that, because that's a concept a lot of us don't know, right? How your investment dollars grow.
Yeah. Um, so I'm going to go back to I told you I don't like when people use these apps that look like they're like you're playing a game. I can buy this, I can buy that. Right? So what ends up happening is people buy one of these, two of these, one of those, da, 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 da. So now you got 27, that's a lot. You got 11 different companies, one or two shares of each. And so if you do that, your money is not concentrated into one particular thing that's growing. So now you got onesie twosies all around, and okay, I made 32 cents today, right? But if you had put that together on something that's doing very well and appreciating in value, That 32 cents could have been $10, or it could have been $100. And so they, how's it go? Oh God, the second greatest, no, not the second greatest, eighth wonder of the world is compound interest. So your money compound, you get interest on you get interest. Okay, it's a passive form of income, and that interest, this was your initial investment, all right, and so this is your interest, right? And so once you have that, now you're building on top of the money you already had, and it ends up being a snowball. And that concentrated amount of money will tend to make your money grow faster, right? So that's the thing that she's speaking of. I don't know if I should be looking at these or not.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, Tracy says I love me some dividends. Got some today. I love that.
Right, right. And I'm gonna tell you, you're gonna feel good when
Yeah.
you, before you listen. So before you even get out the bed, somebody already put your name on a check, right? One thing that I tell people also, right? So, and I should have said this before. If you think you should not invest, I'm gonna just hold my money here and I'll put it under the mattress, or I'll put it in a savings account, right? I'm going to go to work for money. So you're going to trade your time for some money, right? Let's talk about that for a minute. And I hate to get you off track. I just should have mentioned it before. So if you're going to go to work, you got to wake up an hour to get yourself together. You got to give yourself an hour to get to work if you work outside of the home, right? Then you go there, you give them 8 hours. So you're at 10 now. And then it's time to go back home. So that's another hour. So you're at, what did I say? You're at 11 now. And then when you get home, now you got to get dinner ready, or, feed the dog, walk the dog, do the kids' homework, play with the kids, play with the dog, kiss the husband, kiss the wife, whatever. So now you've just taken 2, 10, 11, all right, 12. You've taken 12 hours out of your 24-hour day, right? But you still have other things that you're interested in. You play tennis, go to your book club, whatever you do. Now you have some personal time that you need to add into that day. And you got to sleep, okay? So add your 5 to 6 hours into your sleep time. You've taken a lot of time out of your 24-hour day. You have a finite amount of time that you can go and trade your time for money. So instead of you going out there to make the money all the time and all the hours it takes you to get that done, for you to earn that money, you can send your money out there to make money for you. Your money is going to make more money than you ever could, because it can be more places than you can be. And Tracy says she just got some. I got some too. Anyway, Tracy just says she got some dividends today. I promise you, Tracy didn't go, let me go do something for this. Tracy did something one time, or maybe a few times, but one time for sure. She bought whatever company paid her dividends. She bought it one time, and most companies will pay you. This is true. Yes, most companies pay you quarterly, right? Some will pay you monthly dividends, but she bought the stock one time. And every quarter, as long as that company is paying a dividend, they're going to send you a check. So this is June. Yeah. So September 26th or somewhere like that, Tracy getting another check, unless it's a monthly paying company, right? But again, she hasn't done anything but buy that company once. That's it. That's all you got to do for them to continue sending you money. Motown is getting her dividends every quarter, right? A month, right? All right. So she's saying a month, but that means she has enough companies that the average of what they're paying her in January and February and March is averaging $800 a month, because that $50,000 increased that much in value. I just stopped talking.
No, thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that. And Reset with Celeste. Hey, Celeste says, thanks for discussing this. I assumed I didn't have a long enough investing horizon left to start dividend investing. So anything that you want to say to that about feeling like you don't
Okay.
have enough time?
All right. Celeste, are you retiring tomorrow? Because if you're retiring tomorrow, you probably don't have enough time to make the dividends work for you. But I will say this: I don't care how much time you have. If you decide you're going to invest in a company today, and that company, I'm not even going to go with a month, and that company in 3 months decide they're going to pay you, it is going to be more than you had yesterday. It is never too late to start investing unless you kick in the bucket tomorrow, or unless I'm gonna retire tomorrow. But if you haven't been planning to retire tomorrow, you probably ain't retiring tomorrow. That is the only time it's too late, right? But as long as you can have any time horizon, and that whatever that investment is making you more money than you had yesterday, you got plenty of time. You good.
Thank you. Celeste also says, I get dividends from index funds, but haven't yet invested in individual companies for dividends. Can you speak to the power of index funds, right, in mimicking kind of the return of the S&P 500 over time? For those who may be kind of hesitant to invest in individual stocks, the option to invest in index funds for beginning investors.
Yeah. One second. But haven't yet invested in individual
Take your
companies
time.
for different. Okay.
Yep.
I'm just trying to figure out because I think I want to go at the last part first. All right. So I don't suggest a new investor to invest in individual companies. I
Mm-hmm.
do, but I'm not a new investor. I've been investing over 35, yeah, 35 years. Okay. Um, and so the reason I don't suggest investing in individual companies is because of the thing I spoke about earlier, learning about that company and learning about what they do. And if you're not going to take the time to educate yourself in that industry with that company, then I don't want you doing it, right? So the way you cheat is by investing in index funds, right? And index funds tracks an index like S&P 5, S&P 500, the Standard and Poor's, five top 500 companies is what that is, right? Or the Nasdaq. The Nasdaq 100 is the top 100 tech companies, okay? If you decide to invest in a S&P 500, remember I told you it's 500 companies in there, right? If I invested in a individual company, I got to hope and pray that that individual company continues to do well and don't do that, and doesn't tank, right? So I got to watch this one company. That one company, uh, I told you, Johnson and Johnson has a $700 million lawsuit against them, right? A lot of companies aren't going to survive that. Johnson and Johnson don't survive it though, right? But that could take a company out. And so if you've been invested in that one company, you just lost everything. Enron, right? What was the communications company? There was a communications company. I forgot it. It was on the East Coast, somewhere down here. I forgot what it was. Um, so that's why I don't want you doing individual companies. There are some individual companies that I don't want you doing that to start. Index, if you're in the S&P 500, you got 500 companies that are doing this up and down, up and down. So if actually about, what is it? Is it like 96%? I think 96% or in the 90s, high 90s of the S&P, the money that's generated from that is supported by the top either 7 to 10 companies, right? So 7 to 10 companies are generating more money than, I'm gonna say 10. 10 companies are generating more than 490 other companies combined. All right. So I don't have to worry about what happens when Elon Musk says something he ain't got no business saying and Tesla goes down because Nvidia is going up. I don't have to worry about what happens with a lawsuit against this company because it's being supported by all these other companies, right? And index funds are self-healing, meaning, remember I said it's the top MCI. Thank you. It is the top 500 companies in what am I supposed to say right here? I forgot. It's the top 500 companies. So if a company is underperforming, they push that company out. You got to get out and they go grab a company that is performing better to replace it. It is always going to be the top 500 companies. That is why you would want your money in an index fund. It is self-healing. They done the work for you. You know, oh, let me go. Do I have to look at this company? No, you don't. No, you don't. They done already done the work. Okay. And the US market is the strongest market on the planet. That's it. Strongest market on the planet. So you are supporting, if you still believe in the US market, right? And everybody else believes in it too, put your money there. Free information comes today.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, we got a delay, and I kind of just end questions. I should end my answers. I should do a little better job about this.
Oh, no, you're fine. No worries, no worries. I'm just looking through the chat for questions. I see a question on BlackRock. Do you have an opinion about BlackRock? Found out they manage several TSP funds.
BlackRock owns everything. I love BlackRock. BlackRock is, yes. BlackRock owns everything. If you're TSP funds, you're in a TSP. You are in funds that are regulated the most, vetted the most. You're not going to have, sorry, y'all. You're not going to have any insurance products in your plans. You're fine. Hey, not before 10.
Thank you. Okay, let's see. Just looking through the chat here. Okay, S. Norris says, I'm glad you said it's never too late because I'm new with this information, but I'm ready to get it started. I appreciate your information. Thank you for that comment. Right. Yeah. Like you said, it's never too late.
I'm glad you said it. Not too late. Okay, so I've taken the time. I've taken the time to get the knowledge for myself. I've taken the time to give it to you. You just said you are willing to use it. Please use it and use it now, right? You don't have to be afraid of it at all. And we should look around. You know, if you see people with great wealth, they did it a couple of different ways. They did it by creating and building a business. They did it by putting their money into growing businesses. They did it by buying real estate, right? And so if they did it, he did it, she did it, they did it, you can do it. It's not too late. You'll have more money than you had before. And if you don't do it, what's the alternative?
If you don't take action, what's the alternative? Yeah, that's true. Question from TD Star. What's your opinion on stock option trading? I know you mentioned that earlier. Seems risky, but not sure.
All right, listen. Oh, look, they go TD Ameritrade. All right, so I'm going to give you my opinion, but I'm not suggesting it for anyone, right? I trade stock options. I have an advantage, though. The advantage is I've been investing for 35 years. I've been trading stock for 35 years. I've been trading stock options for 5 years. Stock options are a different beast. You can make a lot of money, but you can lose a lot of money very quickly. It is not This is don't try this at home, kids. If you have not been trained very well to do this, don't just go out there putting your money trying to trade no stock options. Don't do that. If you educate yourself very well, if you are able to control your emotions, go ahead. I'm sorry. If you're able to control your emotions, these are the type of people that can do it. If you have a trading plan, if you have a goal for that money, if you're not greedy, try it. But don't do any of that without educating yourself. It is very risky. And again, I think I mentioned earlier, I didn't say anything. I don't think I said anything about me trading stock options or I day trade. I'm sorry. Um, there's a way to trade them safely. But again, this is something you have to educate yourself on. There's a lot of people out here charging a lot of money, too much money, to teach you how to do it, and then they give you access to the program where you self teach yourself. You ain't gonna learn nothing that way. I get a lot of people that come to me. I took this class. I'm ready to day trade. I'm ready to trade stock options, and they don't know what they're doing. You have to learn from someone that knows what they're doing. So you can do it, but just be very careful. I am not speaking on that for anyone else, until you educate yourself with it.
Right, right. I did link your YouTube channel in the chat, so please subscribe to Dee's channel, y'all. But I did want to ask you about the importance of community.
Can I bring something up?
Yeah,
For those of you guys who have followed me since I
absolutely.
began, I've had my YouTube channel for year and
Mhm.
a year and 5 months, a year and 6 months, okay, year and a half. My channel actually started as Brown Girls Trade Too, right? Until I got people coming to me saying, teach me how to trade, or all right, I'm ready to trade. And they were just looking at how much money they could make, but they weren't ready to do to put in the time it would take for them to actually learn, right? So I changed it from trade to invest because it is a safer option for people.
Agreed. Yes. Thank you for distinguishing between those two. Yeah. Motown Investor says your stock will go down. That's what people don't understand. They have the opportunity to buy more stock on sale, but they get scared and sell. Yeah, that fear is very real.
Right.
If
So
you're not
again,
prepared for that,
yeah, that's where
yeah.
you're controlling your
Mm-hmm.
emotions. I told you the stock market moves like this, right? But it's mostly always going up. I don't care what. That's a lie. uh, if you look at long-term charts of good companies, it's doing this, okay? But it's always going up. More people are putting their money into the market, and that helps it to move up, okay? You said, and so people will, yeah, they'll get scared and they'll sell. So sometimes they sell when they're down. You just locked in a loss. When you own something, when you own a company, own a stock or index fund or exchange traded fund or something like that. I told you when I got my 401k, I said, oh, yeah, we're making money. Yeah. You haven't made anything until you sell, right? You haven't made money or lost money until you sell it. The value has changed, but you have not actually made the money until you sell it, okay? Um, if you have let something pull back too much, or you're just down, I'm losing so much money. Um, there are times when you should sell at a loss. When you decide I've lost enough and there's a better opportunity for you to make gains, all right? So if something has been underperforming, you take that money and you put it into something that is performing better, right? And that's another thing that I will go over with people with their employee sponsored plans. Because people don't look at these things, they don't know what they're looking at. A lot of them are underperforming for years. And though that time, as it's going by, is you've lost opportunity to make more money for the time when it's ready for you to retire. So you got to look, you can't just, I'm going to retire in 3 weeks. You have to be planning for that, and you have to be monitoring that your investments are doing what they're supposed to, that you want them to be doing, right?
Right. Just looking at a question from Yvette. Hey, Yvette Boone, would you advise a newcomer to invest money in IRA reserve cash temporarily while they research which security to invest in?
Yes. So those are holder accounts, right? You will have, all right, let me talk about, this has, these are not the same things. People have their money in big banks. And I'm bringing this up because that's a holder account, right? Uh, they have their money in big banks, Chase, Citibank. What's that one on something Trust? What's that one on the West Coast? SunTrust in the East. All the big, Bank of America. Those are big banks. Those big banks pay you 0.01%. Nothing is what they pay you. Okay. There are other accounts called high yield savings accounts where I think right now you can get between 4 and 4.5%, right? Now, I'm just telling you that because that's a holder for your money, right? So you're either in a big bank where you're making pretty much nothing, or you're in a high yield savings account where you're making a little more. So that little more is actually what happens with a money market account in your brokerage account. That's a holder account for you, your reserve cash. And while that money is sitting there, it's probably, I haven't looked at this, but probably, well, it's making more than what it would in a regular checking account or regular savings account. So yes, that is a good place for that money to be for opportunities. So you want your money sitting there for, so today, this company that I love, it fell, but nothing's wrong. Something happened in the market. The company fell. Now I can get that thing on sale. I've been waiting to get this company, but it's been too much for me to afford, right? Or it could be overpriced, right? Something happened in the market and that thing went boom. You remember that? Up, down, up, down. This is the time when it went down. This is a buying opportunity. So yes, it's a good place to have your money for opportunities like that. So you can take that money and put it into something that has a better chance of growing your money.
Thank you. See another question. Is there a major difference in having a Fidelity index fund and a Vanguard VOO index ETF?
Yes. Wait, total market. VU. That is VTI is okay. Yes, a little bit, not much. So there's not a major difference, and so the differences are going to be in the expense ratio. That's language for you, and in the fact that VOO is holds mostly tech companies. Uh, it's tech heavy, right? And by the way, I have both of those. FXAIX is the is Fidelity's version of the S&P, of tracking the S&P 500. Let me say something else. When people and I'm only doing this. I'm not. Somebody told me I was flexing. I'm not flexing. I am doing what is customary. I will tell you that most of my holdings are in Fidelity, that I own FXAIX, that I own VOO, that I own Johnson and Johnson, Procter and Gamble. No, I don't. PepsiCo, right? If I say anything about Apple, Home Depot, I own those companies. I am telling you that so that you know, if I'm coming to you saying, look, it's this company, right? I'm telling you so that you know if I have a potential bias in that company, right? And so if someone is talking to you about a company, they should tell you which way they lean on it, if they own it. Because if I tell you, run it, I'm not telling you guys this. If I tell you, go buy this company, and I tell you to go buy this company because I want all of y'all to run in and run that stock up, so I can go sell, that's why I will tell you the things that I own or where my money is. Hey, Agent Grateful. Thank you.
Hey. Yes, as we're winding down, do want to be respectful of your time. I would love to hear more about the Redefining Life Abroad virtual summit that's coming up.
Absolutely.
And you will be talking about investing as well. So, anything you'd like to share around the summit coming up?
Yeah, so I moved to Mexico, right? And along with five, five, yeah, five of my good buddies right now that all have moved to Mexico and done the thing of leaving the U.S. We are putting on a virtual summit called Redefining Life Abroad. Right? It doesn't have to be to Mexico. It can be wherever you decide treats you well. Okay. And so there's an influx of people starting to do this, and they're doing it for multiple reasons. They could be doing it because their home country is not treating them well. They could do it because of an impending election. They could do it because they want to raise their child in an area that is safer for them or where the food is better. Whatever those reasons are, if you are trying to leave your home country and you don't have the tools or understand what you need to do to be able to not only leave but to be able to stay gone, right? And when I say stay gone, I mean, this is what I'm talking about here. You got to get your money right to be able to do that, right? You have to put yourself in a position where you can financially be able to go and be able to sustain yourself financially while you are gone, right? And so I will be covering things to help you save and grow your money, right? I'll also be speaking with Tracy Collins. I think Tracy's in the. I did see her. She's in the comments here now. Tracy, it's actually her brainchild, right? We were at her table. She had a brown table. Don't sit at that table unless you really tell everything, because you will tell everything, right? So Tracy said, hey, why don't we do this? We see all of these people struggling to figure out how to go and how to be able to stay gone, right? So Tracy will cover not only uh, how to build your business, how to grow your business. This woman helps other women build their businesses. Okay. Not only does she do that, she helps you take care of your body, take care of your mind, right? Through wellness, all of her wellness practices. Sometimes Tracy is making something. She make concoctions, y'all, right? But those concoctions heal you, right? So she'll be helping other women to adjust in the new country they're going to, uh, by building their business, growing their business, and taking care of your body and your soul, your spirit, right? So then we've got Finding Alam. She's in the comments as well. Finding Alam, I love her, right? But she a little nerd, little bit of nerd. I love her though. She is any resource you think you might need for growing your business, any back office needs that you have, Alam Spence Williams, right there. Okay. Uh, she also teaches people how to get government contracts. So again, this is a way that once you leave, you can sustain yourself financially in your business that you've built. Okay. We've got Aging Grateful is in here. Now, Aging Grateful is actually a married couple. That's Bobby in here right now. They're a married couple, and they teach. By the way, Bobby got like 12 different YouTube channels, right? Subscribe to all of them. She is a real estate agent by trade, but she also is a wizard with all the back office stuff, right? Not only is she going to talk about those things, but she will be talking about how you move your family. Uh, it's not just about packing the stuff up. You got to mentally decide this is something both of you guys are ready to do. Not just both of you, all of you are ready to do. But then when you leave, you got to deal with some things once you get gone, right? How does your family um, balance money now? How do you manage, not having language there? Whatever those things are, as a married couple, she's going to talk about those kind of things. She's got a bunch of kids too, so she can help you out with that. Who else we got in here? We don't have them in here, but there will be Michelle Wedderburn. If you guys don't know, Michelle has a luxury guest house in San Miguel de Allende, and she teaches you how to build a brick and mortar business. Michelle, as a Black woman, took herself to Mexico, looked around and said, I want to buy that right there. And you know what I'm going to do with it? I'm going to put a big old beautiful place that y'all going to want to come and stay at. So she had to navigate whatever the rules are in that particular city, in that state, in that country. She can teach you how to do that, right? And teach you all the resources that you need to be able to grow your brick and mortar business, the things that you're going to have to navigate. We're going to have, she's not here, but, and by the way, that girl is in Bali right now. Danielle. Danielle, I don't know if I should tell this. I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to tell a little bit of it. Danielle is a singer. She's not only a singer, she's an IT tech, okay? IT professional, rather. Danielle moved to Mexico with her family, her husband, Elton, and they got 2 kids and their mother. So it is a different thing for me to go and move to another country. All I got to do is worry about myself, right? But they had to take their family. Not only did they do that, she figured out, I don't know, she figured out a business for herself being gone, right? And so again, we've got people covering how a married couple does it, how a family does it, how you go and grow your business. I'm sorry. What do you call it when you don't have to be there? A business where online business, whatever it is, okay, or a brick and mortar business. And you got me that will tell you how to get your money together now and how to get your money together when you're gone. That conference, it's a virtual conference. It's happening August 10th through 11th. Okay. This is going to be the information you need. This ain't no, oh, I think this is how it goes, or maybe you could. No, we done it. All of us have figured it out, and we're going to teach you how to do it. Right. So get your tickets. Get them early, y'all, before they start to go up, because they are going up. Okay. And we've got a lot of supporters behind us. So again, come check us out. I talked about a few things here. I ain't give you everything. I ain't gonna give you everything. Come holler at me. All right. Thank you. Yes, that's it.
Exciting. Yeah, as Nora says, oh my goodness, I was just talking to my daughter about moving to Mexico this week. That's why we're working on our money. So that's
All
perfect.
right.
The
Come on.
summit
Come
sounds
on.
like the event you need to attend. Yeah,
It is. Absolutely.
I
Indeed.
love it.
Yeah.
But yeah, as we're winding down, I'd love to ask like any other offerings that you have. I did link the link to your website in the chat.
Thank you. Yes.
Anything that you offer people who are new to investing, right, in coaching and kind of working through that fear that you like to share.
Yeah. So again, I've told you people don't generally look at what they own or if they own anything, right? I will walk you through what you're looking at, and I'll put you in a position where um, I'm not gonna just make you money today or next week, right? You're gonna make money for a lifetime after you leave me, right? Because you're gonna have the skills to be able to know what you're looking for, and I'm sorry, I'm not gonna put you in anything. By the way, this is entertainment purposes, y'all. Okay. I am going to show you the things you need to look at and the things that will help you grow your money. Okay. And I'm not talking about grow it by $50. I'm talking about growing your money. I'm talking about thousands of dollars and hundreds of thousands of dollars, right? Uh, and just so you know, I am not a financial planner. I'm not a financial advisor. I am someone that has done very well with their money. I used to actually want to be one of those, but I decided not to because you have to get a license. And those people that are licensed can't tell you certain things. I can tell you everything you need to know, right? And I'm not trying to sell you anything. I don't make money that way. I get my satisfaction by helping other people that look like me grow their money, or helping people that are in financial situations that I was in when I was a child grow their money, right? This is not it ain't just for rich. It ain't just for rich people. It's for people trying to get rich. Okay. So I have that. I've got my Brown Girls Invest Too YouTube channel, right? I can I can tweak your trading. I will not teach you how to trade. I can look at trades that you've done. If you haven't been successful with them, I can show you what you did wrong and what you need to do next time, right? I've got ebooks and things like that, things for your kids, things for if you lose a loved one. Unfortunately, I lost my mom 3 years ago. Yeah. And so there's some things that you probably should put in place for if that happens with a loved one of yours. So check out my website. It's Brown Girls Invest, the number 2.com, and my what am I got? My YouTube channel. Watch my videos, y'all. I got plenty of good information out there.
I love it. I love it. I know you said you were working on another YouTube channel. Is that right? Or two other?
Hey, we didn't talk about that. I have two other.
Oh, was that secret? I'm sorry. That was behind the scenes.
Yes, I have I have two other YouTube channels. And the purpose of those channels is to grow my money as well. So those channels are used for as a business. My Brown Girls Invest 2 is used to help people, right? The other one, y'all helping me, hopefully.
Mm-hmm. I love it. Aging Grateful. Yes.
Thank
Subscribe,
you.
like, and share this
Yes,
video. Please.
yes,
You have
yes, yes.
shared so much information with
You
us tonight. Thank you for your generosity. We appreciate it. And Francis B says, I highly recommend booking a call with Dee. She knows her stuff. After working with her, I've seen great growth in the changes I made in my accounts. Okay, there's a
That's right.
testimonial.
Say it. Say it. Thank you. I'm
Yes.
glad to hear that. Thank you
Yes.
very much,
So
Francis.
please go to Dee's website to book a call with her. Yeah. So as we're winding down, just any words of encouragement, right? If someone, a Black woman seeing this video who's still like hesitant to start investing, any words that you would like to share with her?
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Um, Stop waiting. Either stop waiting or become more serious about investing. We didn't have any money, y'all. And once you get the ball rolling and see what it can do for you, it puts you in a position to do whatever it is you want to do in your life. So I would say to start, right? Or um, get more serious about it, be patient, be consistent, and do it. Uh, those things, whatever way, I want you to think about how you're living now, right? There's a life cycle, and I'm sorry to do this. There's a life cycle of how we earn money. And so in your 40s and 50s is the time frame where you're going to make the most money in your life. If you are in your 40s and 50s and you're not doing well financially now, what's going to happen when you're going out on the other side? There is ageism, and these companies, as you've heard, hey, thank you. I'm gonna get with you. I promise you. I promise you. There's a life cycle to your money, right? And so take the opportunity to put the money to work for you now so that you're not scrambling later on trying to figure out what you need to do, how you can do it, how you're going to pay for this, how you're going to pay for that, how you're going to retire, right? So do those things right now and continue to do them, right? You will be in the position of the person you see whose life, you see some aspects of their life that you may want. You can have some aspects of that rich person's life because you're building up your own wealth, right? I didn't have any money. I got $2-3 now, right? And it's because I invested my money in things that appreciate in value. So do the same thing. Thank you, Jetta.
Thank you. And I see Aging Grateful says, talk about your Patreon.
Lord Jesus. All right. I have a Patreon. Listen, I day trade that's not true. I day trade almost every day. And I enjoy taking money out of the market. So I was encouraged, pushed to do that, to start me a Patreon, because there's some information that I just can't give on my channel. I sometimes mention companies and people will run out and buy that company. Now, the problem with that is you don't know why I bought it, when I bought it, or how long I intend to hold it. So sometimes people get in trouble with that. My Patreon will, I will give some, some of my personal information, personal things that I do, right? I got 2 dogs. I got a family. I do foolish stuff outside. And so you'll see some of that. You'll see some of my trades. You'll see some of the companies that I invest in and the logic behind why I invest in them. So you can get yourself some additional information there and get triggers for why you would want to be in certain companies. Now, I'm not telling you to buy them, but there's a good chance that if you see some of the information why I'm buying them, you might want to do the same thing. You might make $2-3, right? So if you want, join my Patreon and come on, check me out over there. Thank you, Bobby. Ah, good Lord.
I love it. And is your
I didn't hear you.
in the name of your Patreon, or is it linked on your channel for people to? Yeah, the
Um,
link to your Patreon in the name of it.
oh, it's Bobby. Help me out. It's I had to change. I think it's Brown Girls Invest too. Yes. If not, I will put it's in. It's on my.
Okay.
It's in the community page on my YouTube channel. And Bobby, if you know it, would you please put it? Somebody, Lord, help me, y'all. I'm old. But I think it's Brown Girls Invest too. I just started. Uh, yeah. Thank you. Yes, Elle. I have. Thank you, Elle, for coming.
Yes. Promote
I
yourself.
am learning
Yes.
to do that. I don't typically. I typically make my money. I pull my money out of the market, but let me help somebody else learn how to do that too.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, we appreciate you and everything that you shared tonight. I'll have to go back and watch this for all the information, right? And please subscribe to Dee's channel for further information on investing. If you're new to
Yes.
investing, if you have that fear to kind of work through that, because she shares so many great resources. And yeah, book a call with her if you need that one-on-one support as well.
Yes.
But thank y'all so
Absolutely.
much for sharing in the chat tonight. The chat was on fire, so thank y'all. And yeah, on that note, thank you, Dee, for being here. And until
You're
next
quite
time,
welcome.
y'all.
Thank you for
Bye.
having me.
Thank
I
you for
really
watching.
appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Bye, y'all.
Bye, y'all.